All right, so here we have the good gear and the bad gear, right?
Yep, I think this one's a third, which you were complaining about being the worst.
That's
and as you
right,
can tell, if you can look at the profile of this synchro ring.
Hopefully I can get the focus on it. Yeah.
Yep, you can see how you wore a groove into it by trying to force it into gear via the slider over here. So we have the slider that fit into here and was grinding away at that point.
Yeah, which in turn destroyed
the slider, which is this is all rounded off.
The slider's being replaced.
That's being replaced for this reason. And so is this ring, which is a whole lot of fun to swap off.
Right, so we're running into problems here removing the ring.
Well, not problems.
I shouldn't say problems. It's just going to require a bunch of grinding and cutting and not fun stuff.
Yep, and trying not to destroy the expensive part.
Of course. That's always the most important thing.
So we're going to go to the fab area.
Let's go to the fab area.
And look at all the trash pile for tomorrow's replacement. And we're going to go to town on this nice expensive gear with a cutting wheel.
I love it, Tony. Don't wreck my expensive gear, you know?
Just don't watch out with the camera.
That's right. All right. I'll stand back.
What we're trying to do is put a big groove in here and be able to pop a chunk off, and then we can get this thing to split off of here.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to do a couple of those so we can get the outer layers off.
That not only hurts my ears, but it hurts my eyes as well. Damn it.
Lots of fun. These things are really on there.
Really tight?
They're not meant to come off, technically. They're
right, I know.
They're an aftermarket product that actually allows us to do this.
I know Chris mentioned if you buy it from Porsche, it's one piece.
Yeah. It's actually staked on the backside. That's why you have to cut them off. There's no way to... I don't know of any way of cutting the stakes out of there and being able to get them off. There's one piece.
Oh,
Step one.
Look at that.
So that allows us to get into this and cut a diagonal groove into here to get this chunk broken loose. We're going to do the same thing across a couple more spots.
One more hit the hammer. Oh yeah.
One more down.
Go. There it goes. Look at that. Caution, flying objects. One left. Here we go. Success.
One last piece of the puzzle, right?
That is it. Pop that sucker off. There you go.
Alright, so now we have beautiful undamaged gear with a wore out part that's no longer on there.
Excellent.
So next thing we gotta do is clean this thing up, throw it in the freezer, and get these guys on a hot plate.
So before we can install one of the dog rings, the instructions call to file down some of the excessive, what is it, the metal that was left?
It was the swedging of the
swedging, yes, the swedging
material. So now we have a nice flat
surface, yeah.
There.
Otherwise that gear would not fit on there.
And I'm going to put a little more of a taper on the end of it. It's still pretty sharp on this edge. And
what's the next step? We're going to put this in the freezer, right?
We're going to throw this guy in the freezer and let that sit overnight. And then tomorrow morning, when we get ready to put this thing back together, we're going to throw the other pieces in an oil bath and on a hot plate.
And we'll make it happen.
Perfect.
Get it
together.
So begins the process of putting the transmission back together here. I've gone ahead and cleaned up all the cases. There's no more gasket, old crusty gasket I should say, left. And we are somewhat good to go. Tony's just about to put one of the first shafts back in.
Input shafts, yeah.
Yeah, input shafts.
Okay, need to get some oil squirted in there.
Yeah. That's right, people. That is Torco assembly lube. And that is the output shaft. Ooh, smooth like butter. Now our jigsaw puzzle of putting the gears back together begins. Hopefully we don't screw this up. Or I should say you, because I'm just watching
wee
over here.
business.
Yeah. All right, we're reaching into the freezer here.
Never mind the
That's
booze.
right. For gears. And the reason these gears are frozen is because we're going to try to fit them onto our dog rings, right?
Dog rings fit onto these, actually.
Sorry, yeah, the dog rings are fitting onto those, and the dog rings are on this hot plate here in oil. So you heat the oil up, which in turn heats the metal, the ring, and the other one is cold. This one's warm.
This is the
They
big
should
one.
just slide right on.
I think I have the little one on lined up first.
Let's see how this goes.
I don't know. They're going lined up. All right. And
It's like a race against time here. Oh, look at that. I like to call a press fit.
and that sucker's on.
There we go. For the record, the freezing of one gear and heating of the other, that is a recommended procedure by the factory. And now we get the second one.
This one almost went down on its own.
Oh yeah.
So when you get it right, it
Look at
just falls right into
Yeah.
place. I don't even need a rod for this one.
Look at that one with ease.
Extra tension on there, make sure it's in. And good to go.
So here we are assembling the, what gear is this?
This should be third.
Third gear. And that there is a new synchro, along with our newly pressed on dog ring. So third gear is going to be as good as new.
There we go. Here we are. Yeah. We have a winner.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice tight synchros.
Coming together. I like it.
You should recognize this one as being third gear. It's the one with the sharp teeth that cut all the way into the synchro ring.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
This guy goes. And then this whole stack.
Now the gears
We need, yeah, we can do this whole
stack it
stack.
up fast. Real fast.
We'll have to split this into pieces.
Not a bad attempt to do it all at once. Never a bad
Yeah,
idea.
It depends. Sometimes it'll drop right on, sometimes it won't.
There we go.
That's another ring. This guy's got to be dead perfect. There we go. Cosmoline is what that's called. The anti-corrosion.
Yeah.
And that's that stack.
That's it. That's it for gears. God, that came together quickly actually faster than I thought. Much faster. So all the hard work is actually in
Most
removing that dog ring.
Yep, that's the hardest part of this whole gig. That's good.
Okay, we just dropped the first shift fork on. Now Tony's going to do the second one here. So these forks actually are controlled by the shift lever, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
That's actually what shifts the gears. Look at that.
Just get them set. And then
Yeah.
get this roll pin back in here.
Of course, we have to apply our Porsche specific 574 Loctite, right?
It's a
Or
sealer.
It's not Loctite.
It's made by Loctite.
It is made by Loctite, yeah, okay.
It's a flange sealant is what they call it.
Yeah.
It's just the go-to for most Porsche air-cooled parts.
That's what I was told. Fun fact, this stuff actually doesn't dry with oxygen. So it has to have a lack of oxygen to dry and
Anaerobic
seal.
sealer.
That's right, anaerobic sealer. You learn something new every day. So we just put the old shift selector rod back in here. Progress is happening. We're almost ready to put our actual cover on. And in it goes. After our final drive, an open diff. God, I wish.
You know, it'd be really easy to install one right now.
I know. If I had one, I'd be all over it. Sadly, I do not.
This is the time to do it.
Well,
Save a lot of work.
they're super expensive and they're hard to find.
I don't know if you noticed, but you bought a Porsche.
Yeah, I know, right?
Reference, in case you missed
Nothing
that
has
part.
been cheap so far. Other than the quality of some of the materials, right? That goddamn gasket.
Yeah, that gasket was definitely cheap. I think it was cheap all around.
That's right.
Don't ask me why we do this. It's just something I was taught when I first started touching these things, but you put 574 on everything that's on an air-cooled Porsche. It's just how you do it.
Right.
And you don't put,
I agree. You don't want them leaking. It's like
It's
the
just
sign
something
of
they're
death
really-
for them.
They're really good at. They're good at leaking.
Yeah, they
Look at
seem to
that.
be way too good at leaking. Ooh, there's a
Well, we actually
specific way to
Yeah.
put that on.
It only goes one way.
Oh, yes. So that gasket's going to be a little bit of a
Yep. It's a little.
biatch. There you go. It is brand new. All our gaskets are brand spanking new.
Here we go.
There we go, indeed. So this wonderful paper-style gasket.
From 1974.
Yeah, I was just gonna say from the 70s, and yet there's no updated part number for it, so we're stuck reusing the same old crappy stuff. But I suppose it works, so we're not gonna rip on it too much. I still think it does suck, though.
It does suck. It's shrunken and
That's right.
not fun. You always risk ripping it trying to put it
Of
on.
course you do.
So much fun.
Trained
And
professional
getting that
needs to
last
install
bolt
this.
in there is so much fun.
Now we're trying to put the cover on here. Here we
It's
go.
on.
It drops in. Except that gasket was looking way off on one of these holes over here, for the record.
It will. They
That's how
usually
it goes.
do. I think we had to put a couple of these studs had to come out for some reason, didn't they?
I don't know.
Or I pulled them out to.
Yeah. Oh, to remove those bolts.
Yep.
So we're gonna put the studs back in. Now with that pin going in, our clutch fork is officially installed as well. And transmission is pretty much done, aside from putting the backside together. And the reason why we haven't put the backside together is the goddamn paper gasket ripped. That's right, the gasket we were cursing has ripped, and it has now found its way into the trash where it resides. So we'll have to finish it up tomorrow because we don't have a spare one. Take two here. We've just gotten our wonderful paper gasket onto our transmission case, and Tony's gonna drop the back half on without tearing the old shitty paper gasket this time. Easier said than done, huh?
Yeah, takes a little bit of jiggling.
Looks like the back side's lined up.
Go.
There we go indeed. Yes. Success.
Here we are. Put some bolts in there, some nuts on there, and
Get her done.
get it done. That's what locates that guy.
Yeah. So we got the hot plate going again to heat up the bearings and the press fit on the top here. As you can see, you heat them up, and slide right in.
Yep. All in. Barely have to touch them.
Perfect. Look at that. I'm taking this hot plate home with me. It's I've never used it in the past, and my God, does it work well. Look at that. That thing just slid right in there. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, finishing this job, and we have these large nuts that need to be tightened to 140 foot-pounds. And you think, oh, that's not a big deal, but it is, because all of this rotates. So we need to figure out a way how to hold these gears while we tighten those bolts. So our solution is to jam a piece of aluminum between the gears. Obviously not recommended for you folks at home, but for us, we're gonna make it work, right, Tony?
Yeah, as long as you don't have to buy that $1 million special tool that's probably no longer available.
Of course not. So if you send your transmission to somebody to fix, they will have a tool. And here, this is our tool. And I may need to hold the transmission.
Ready?
Ready? Okay.
That's 115. Hey, over. Come here, give me a hand.
We need 3 hands for this.
Ready?
Close.
Slightly thicker material. Ready?
Jesus.
Whew.
Closer?
We're 9 Newton meters away.
9 Newton meters. Wow.
This isn't much.
This is fun times, huh?
It's kind of an awkward spot too.
Of course it is, yeah.
Ready? Got it.
There we go.
Right, ready? Got it.
There we go. Beep. We're good. Torque to factory spec.
Yep. Some
The metal took a bit of abuse, but it served its purpose. Look at that.
Now we gotta
We are
fold
good
in-
to go.
fold in these
Yeah,
nuts right here.
just so they don't back themselves off.
All right, that part's done.
The last gasket in place and our reverse gear set up. The final backside comes on here and marks our completion of the transmission rebuild. There we go, look at that.
No spare parts.
No spare parts and a complete transmission. Tony, once again, thank you so much. I'm gonna keep sending you ketchup potato chips. Apparently those are not a thing down here. So the supply will keep coming as long as you like them.
Yeah, we'll try it. We'll do a demo first.
That's right. And yes, indeed, that does wrap up the transmission rebuild. I really hope you enjoyed it. And we're gonna be getting back to installing the transmission onto the engine real soon, and we'll go from there. Come on, slip on.
Yeah.
If you guys want to support what we're up to here, you can check out our Patreon page. And if you don't, that's cool too.